got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I am Big Al. My co-host tonight is Attilio April.
Yo, how you guys doing? Attilio April back in the Around the Turnbuckle house today, and I'm happy that the show's back. You know, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. I know you're kind of running solo with it now, but I know that the idea was you get a special guest co-host to help interview another guy, and
sometimes I can do it by myself, but I thought it was more fun. And actually, guys have been reaching out to me, including yourself. But there's been guys reaching out to me to be a co-host, a show here, a show there. And everybody's welcome. Everybody within the sound of my voice, if you are watching this either live or on a replay, and you are interested in being a guest co-host for an episode, please reach out to me. Just send me a direct message, and I will get back to you. And ask Attilio. I usually get back to you pretty quick.
Oh yeah, it's quick. He's really good about something a lot of people today aren't good at: communicating.
Speaking of communication, our guest tonight was supposed to be JT Cage in the original Hackeye. And guess what? He didn't show up. And you want to know why, Attilio? And the reason why was he texted me a few minutes ago and said that he injured his back in a wrestling match. Go figure.
I do that every other week at this point.
He got, maybe he picked a fight he couldn't take on, but I'll tell you one thing about JT Cage. The more I mention his name, the more he'll show up. So trust me, JT Cage will be back right here on Around the Turnbuckle. And next Sunday, I will be back here with another guest host and another guest. So tune into that at 7 o'clock. But Attilio and I are on here, and we're going to talk some wrestling. I got some comments. David, it's Sunday night again. Time to gather around the turnbuckle. Wherever do you find these characters? Let's go. Yeah, we find them. I mean, they're there, David. They are definitely there. But yes. What's up? What's up, boys? That's my boys there. There's NKW Wrestling, Wes and Desmond. What's up, Wes? What's up, Desmond? What's up, guys?
Hope you guys are all having yourselves a good time, and I hope that we can keep this show entertaining tonight.
So so I don't know. So Attilio, we're gonna have you on in a couple of weeks about your stuff that you got going on in your personal situation as far as the wrestling business goes. But for those of you who have never seen you, I'd like you to tell people like a short synopsis of the year you started you got yourself in the business.
Okay.
You were wrestling, and then leading up till now, if you could do that for those who haven't seen you.
Let's see. So a quick. So I'm going to try and go as quick as I can, because there's about 8 years of history there before when I started until when I retired in 2024.
I put him on the spot, guys.
So I got started in the business because, like so many other people, I've always been a fan, but around the time when I really made the move to become a wrestler, I wasn't really living my best life. I was really overweight. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was really, depressed about a lot of things. And then I got word that my nephew was going to be born. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be this guy for my nephew. I want to try and be a role model for the kid. I want to show him that no matter what you have working against you, and at the time I still had some knee issues and a couple other things going on because of I wrestled in high school, and I wanted to show him that hard work and determination, perseverance, no matter what you have against you, you can make your dreams come true and you can make things happen. So I lost 50 pounds before I even started wrestling training. I trained for about 6 months, and then 7 months later, after I started, I was in my first match, and it's been just working hard and doing as much as I can and learning as much about the business as I can. And fast forward 2024, I'm working that year with a broken back, and after my hometown show in Washingtonville in 2024, my back went out that week, and I said, if this happens again, I don't know how the bounce back's going to be. So my next one has to be my last one. So I handpicked a guy, and there's a guy I've had a lot of history with, JT Metal. And I picked him and his manager, Curtis K. Klein, to retire me because I've known them for years. I trust them, and they did very well carrying themselves with the viral title after they retired me in August of 24. So,
Well, I mean, brother, we're going to get into more depth of what you've been doing since, and also what you got going on in the future. I know, and if fans, if you're ever interested to know a little bit more in depth detail about Attilio Aprile, we did do a couple episodes of Around the Turnbuckle with him on that very subject for an hour. So go back on our YouTube page and check out. Just search Attilio Aprile; it'll come right up, and you will see what he's all about. But tonight he's co-hosting with me, which I appreciate very much because of the fact that my guest did not show up, and so I don't want to sit here and talk to myself, and I probably wouldn't have gone live at all if it wasn't for my friend here. So I got a question for you, bud. Did you happen to catch Saturday night's main event this past Saturday, WWE?
I'm going to be honest. I did not, because this whole weekend was, we had all the extended family over, so it was a big weekend family reunion thing. So I missed everything wrestling, but I'm definitely interested to know what happened, and definitely want to get caught up on that.
So I'm just sending a comment to anybody who's watching me on my personal Facebook page that if you want to comment on the show, watch on YouTube or watch on the Around the Turnbuckle page, because on this particular page, see, I did a little something different. So normally, guys, I broadcast in 3 different channels: YouTube, our Around the Turnbuckle YouTube channel, our Around the Turnbuckle Facebook page, which people have no problem commenting during the show if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on that channel. If you're watching on my personal page, which I switched it from 2M1L Media to my personal page, just so that my friends and family can watch this show if they want to, not necessarily if they could comment. I have to change the settings there in order for you to comment. So if you want to comment on this show, if you want to just watch, just watch. But if you want to comment and you want me to have your comments presented to myself and Attilio, you need to watch on either YouTube or on the Around the Turnbuckle page, and I put the links to both on underneath this broadcast right now. So if you're watching on Facebook, you're flipping through Facebook and you're like, oh, look, what's Alan doing? Oh, he's live. Why is he live? And you go on live. This is my Around the Turnbuckle podcast that I basically retired once I lost the professor, and some other people, some friends of mine, decided to sponsor my comeback, which I appreciate very much, and they know who they are. So now I have unofficial, unanimous sponsors to this program because they wanted me back, and I appreciate the fact that somebody
That's
wants to hear
awesome.
me talk about wrestling.
That's awesome.
But okay, so you didn't watch Saturday Night's Main Event, guys. Let me tell you what I felt about Saturday Night's Main Event. So first off, I'm not going to break down the entire card. I don't have time. But at the same time, I am going to point out what the obvious of some of the things that happened. First and foremost, the main event of the show was CM Punk, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, teaming up with Cody Rhodes against Sami Zayn and Gunther. And the stipulation was that if Gunther and Sami Zayn won that match, they are added to the main event of SummerSlam for the title, which right now stands at CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Now, it looked like to me that Sami Zayn and Gunther were going to be added to the main event. I mean, they had this match won at the end, but Nick Aldis interfered, of all people.
Really?
Nick Aldis pulled Gunther. So he pulled Gunther out of the ring, and he caused a lot of controversy. So then Cody and Punk win. The main event stays intact. So then fast forward to today, they had a preview show, a SummerSlam preview show, in which, and I believe that was also in New York, where, um, yo, Gunther and Nick Aldis had a confrontation, and people had to pull them apart. Triple H comes out and he says, you guys, I'm sick of this. You know, this is the WWE. We settle things in the ring."
Mm-hmm.
And now at SummerSlam, it's going to be Gunther versus Nick Aldis in a match.
So one of two things is going to happen: either Nick Aldis is going to win that match, and they're going to take it to the next couple of like pay-per-views, or it's going to be Nick Aldis's retirement match, because that's what they're doing with Gunther. And honestly, I'm not a fan
of the retirement thing, or of Gunther.
Gunther. I like Gunther. He's not the guy who should be getting that "I'm killing the legends now" push. Like that's not. I don't see that for Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there was like another guy who they had on the roster who could be compared to like legend killer Randy Orton, like I would say give that to like a younger guy and have him doing that. You know, I'm ending the Legends gimmick.
You like an Austin Theory or a Logan Paul, right?
You know, I could see it getting a lot more heat. That'll be good for business if it was Logan Paul,
right?
You know, being that guy.
Now, speaking of Logan Paul, Attilio, he got slapped at that same that same press conference by none other than Tom the Goat Brady.
Okay, that's fun. So is
I don't know
Tom
if
going to start wrestling now?
I don't know if anything's going to happen out of that, but it was interesting. Dez says he was watching Collision instead of Saturday Night's Main Event. Yeah, that's your prerogative. Desmond, that is your prerogative, kid.
So I have an AEW hot take here.
Go ahead.
I don't like their wrestling
at all. Period.
There's very few times have I seen any actual real storytelling, psychology, a match that wasn't all high spots from start to finish, stuff that didn't just look
matches
like
with rules.
You know,
there's no rules in any other matches.
Matches that look like they weren't very carefully orchestrated, choreographed sequences of counters. Just to show off how cool and coordinated you are.
Kick out of 50 finishers until one of them is dead.
You know, nothing but super. Like I know how hard that these guys work, and it's a shame that there's no real management trying to rein them in to make things make sense.
There's the problem. Now, that sentence right there, dude, was the problem.
To be fair, I'm also not the biggest fan of WWE's product right now. I know that
and you're not alone there.
TKO doesn't understand the wrestling business, and they're pulling a lot of the creative power away from Triple H and away from the actual wrestling talent trying to run the show. And again, which is why I say, you know, support indie wrestling. Out of some of that same stuff, but you're going to see a lot more guys who want to put some emphasis on character, storytelling, taking things a little bit slower, and giving the audience a chance to catch their breath and take in what happened.
Right.
You know, but I'm a little old school in that mindset because that's what I've always loved, and that's how I like to work.
And there's good and bad indie promotion. We're not saying that all indie promotions are made the same, but the professor would agree with you 1,000% with your entire statement as far as AEW is concerned, as far as, you know, the old school wrestling is concerned, as far as supporting your indies is concerned. This podcast has always been about supporting indies. If it's not indies across the world, it's at least indies in my local area, like Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. You know, there was half a dozen shows this past weekend. And I saw highlights. I get highlights all the time. People send me matches, or I follow some of the local indies around here. You know, we had weather issues, but the thing was, there was lots of wrestling to be had. There was a thing going down in Reading. There was a thing going down in Lancaster. There was a thing going down in SWO down in Seven Valleys. Like there was all kinds of wrestling to be had this past weekend. So
And currently
in my area.
and currently in the Jersey, Connecticut, New York, and other various areas. I know that ECPW's got some pretty extensive fair shows set up. So Wednesday through like Sundays, you know, I got some friends of who this past weekend like wrestled 8 or 9 matches just this past weekend from doing different events, fair shows, etc. Stuff like that in New York, Jersey, and it's all over the place. So like maybe like as cool as it'd be to go to even a WWE house show, AEW house show taping or something, you know, you might find something a little more personable and special, you know, instead of spending your $500, you can get a shitty seat on, sorry for the language, on SmackDown, you know, maybe spend $25, get yourself a nice intimate seat at an indie show, and you may see, you know, your new favorite wrestler who hasn't been recognized yet.
Right. I'm going to put a banner up here for those of you just tuning in that if you're trying to comment on my personal Facebook page, you must switch over to the Around the Turnbuckle Facebook page or the Around the Turnbuckle YouTube channel.
And I got something fun for anybody in the comments. Applies only if you are a worker, if you are a wrestler of any kind or any level. Send us a comment about what the most painful thing you've ever been hit with in the ring is, and at the end of the episode, I'll also answer what the most painful thing for me personally was.
Well,
and I think that'll just be fun, you know.
Well, I'll tell my story because I'm not a wrestler. So, those of you who know me probably have seen the footage on Facebook, and I can't show it right now because I'm having technical difficulties. I'm barely broadcasting between the internet and between my devices. I'm having all kinds of issues, but I wanted to show it's about a 4-minute video of my being attacked at the last 3WA show in Quakertown on June 25th. Now, I want to say this is over 2 weeks later, and I tell you, you know, I'm going to address this when we are there again in Quakertown on Saturday, July the 25th. I will address this in front of the Quakertown fans. I'm so happy and grateful for all the people that reached out to me since, whether it be text message or just comments on my posts about this. Also, if you haven't seen it, you can go right to my Facebook page and scroll down through, you know, and you'll see the 3WA post. I did share it, just to let everybody know what happened to me. If you weren't there live, and thank God for the Wolfman, who is probably watching this. If he's not watching this live, he's watching this later. And Wolfman kind of came in and intervened so that there wasn't any more damage to me. And at the same time, he kicked Windham James Winthorpe III out of his ring permanently. So if that is true and that actually happens, where we never see his face in 3WA again, then it was worth it. It was worth it. But I did feel the grip of his sleeper hold, and it, you know, it was not fun. I did black out there for a minute in the ring, and Roadblock of all people. When I came to, that's the guy that was helping me up, Roadblock, Chad McCoy. And he and I have had our differences, and I've said a lot of mean things about him, and I've said a lot of mean things about, the Quakertown fans. But I'm going to talk about all that at my Turnbuckle Talk, which is the opening segment of Summer Scorcher, which is Saturday, July the 25th at Quakertown. That is next Saturday, this coming Saturday, in Quakertown. And again, I apologize that I can't show you that footage right now. I wanted to have it ready for you, ready to go, but I was having technical difficulties with my laptop and my iPad and my phone. Like nothing was letting me do it. And so if you want to see it, go to my Facebook page as soon as Tilio and I are gone, and just go to my Facebook page and you'll find it. Or go to the 3WA Facebook page. That's even better. Go to the 3WA Facebook page, and it's not just footage of what happened. I mean, 3WA put together a nice little package. It's like a vignette, Attilio.
Maybe on the next episode, you can run that video as the opening, and then you guys can kick it off talking about that video because I definitely want to see it, and I think that the audience would like to see it too.
Yeah,
for anyone who hasn't seen it on your personal page.
Well, yeah, you can. Like I said, you can. When we're done here, you can go right to the 3WA Facebook page, and you'll see it right there. It's well done. It's well put together. They show you. The reason I feel bad because I put the professor in harm's way. You'll notice that the professor is there with me, and he and I are commentating. And I was under the impression, because the event was called Red, Fight, and Blue, it was to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. And what happened? And what happened was, or we were all told that Windham James Winthorpe III was going to be banned from the building that night because he obviously hates our country, and he says, he puts a lot of posts up just to let if you've never seen who I'm talking about, look up his Facebook posts, and that's Windham James Winthorpe III, and so he's obviously anti-American, and so we said during the American Patriotic Show we weren't going to have him in the building. Well, Carolina Jim, the ring announcer, was about to announce the main event. And he was about to do that, and as soon as he put the microphone to his mouth, Windham James Winthorpe III, music hit, he came out, he's waving the British flag, and he starts to berate the Quakertown fans, and I had snapped. So I grabbed the microphone of my own, and I said, no, 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 no. I was told by 3WA management that you're going to be barred because this night is to celebrate the 250th birthday of America, and I was told you weren't going to be here. What are you doing here? So I was kind of being a journalist in that way. I was trying to just ask him, why is he here? Because he wasn't booked. He had no match. He was just there. So I just asked him a question. He went over and he put his hands on the professor because he was mad because the professor on commentary called him a human piece of garbage. He was in a casket match which he lost to JT Cage, and then they were going to set the casket on fire, and the fans were cheering, wanting him to do that. I was probably the only one in the building begging them not to do that, because there's a human being in there. As much as I don't like him, as much as they don't like him, I didn't want a human being getting set on fire, so I was the only one. But anyway, the professor called him a human piece of garbage. He puts his hand on the professor. I yelled his name to get his attention. He looked up at me. He said, you know what? I could choke this guy out, but that's not what I'm going to do. Gets back in the ring with me, starts running his mouth, and he turned over towards Carolina Jim, looked like he was going to leave, and he spun around and he kicked me in the stomach. And when he did that, I went down in a heap, and then he grabbed me in his sleeper hold. So that's what happened. And then Wolfman came in, he intervened, had him thrown out, and then they helped me back to the locker room, and that's what happened. But I'm going to address all that on the 25th.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Hey, you got to see the video, man. Just go to either my page or 3WA. It's right there.
Yeah, one of these days, I got a trip down to Pennsylvania and check out one of those three WA shows.
It's nice to see Attilio again. He's cooler than those other backbreaking characters. Anyway, yeah,
Thank
David,
you so much. Thank you.
David, 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 we were going to have those characters you're talking about, JT Cage and Hackeye. And for those of you tuning in to see their nonsense, they did not show up. JT Cage got an injury, so he is not here tonight. But Attilio is, and Attilio posted a question about what was the hardest thing that happened to you in the ring. And since nobody answered, I'd like to hear what was the hardest thing that ever happened to him, Attilio Priel.
So now I'm to put it into context. I've been hit with kendo sticks, steel chairs, trash cans, hockey sticks, cookie sheets, crutches. I've been hit with a lot of things. Out of all the things that have hurt, the only thing that's really like rung my bell was when I got domed right center of my head with a trash can lid.
Huh.
Like we were doing a live stream internet pay-per-view at the American Dream Mall in Jersey. It was really, really like an incredible event. It was really cool. Loved it. It was the first time I've ever worked on a pay-per-view. I was in a street fight battle royal. So everybody comes out, chains, kendo sticks. Like we brought boxes of kendo sticks for it. It was fantastic. A buddy of mine gets hit, so he sells down, but he's in not a great spot to be on the floor. Keep myself above him so I can keep him from getting stepped on, or getting kicked or anything when he's down until he's good to come back up again. When I get up and turn around, here comes a guy with a trash can lid, dead. And I'm like, that actually really hurt. I'm like, okay. Trash can lid. Don't take that in the center of the skull. So that was the only thing I've been hit with where I was like, I maybe don't want to get hit with that again. So far,
I wish Cage was here because the last time I saw him in a hardcore type match with no rules was in Schuylkill Haven, and he was wrestling a guy by the name of Tony Toxic, and they fought all over the arena. And you have to picture this arena. So it's an auction house. So it's got a balcony full of antiques all the way surrounding it, right? And then it's got plenty of seats around the ring, nice aisle, nice big curtain, and it was done by I believe PCWA, I believe was the organization running it. But Bush Holds Auction House. He's fighting Tony Toxic. It was the main event of the evening. They end up fighting up on the balcony. And earlier in the match, they had both tried to put each other through tables, and there was 2 tables in the ring. They're fighting up on the balcony, and they grab each other, and they both fall about 20 feet from the balcony down to and cracked through both tables and laid there dead for about 10 minutes.
Damn.
But
yeah,
before they laid there dead 10 minutes, fortunately for Tony Toxic and unfortunately for Cage, the way that they landed, Tony Toxic actually had his arm over his shoulders, over his chest, and the ref counted 1, 2, 3. So Cage lost the match, but I don't think that war is far from over. I really don't.
I'm always a fan of like those kind of matches as long as like the story makes sense. Like,
yeah, they've been feuding for months.
I hope that one day I could perform in ring again in the future when I'm fully recovered, fully tabbed and ready to go again. And and I really only plan to do 3, maybe 4 matches a year. Just have some fun, do some local stuff. And just because of how physically I am now, I can't really do the competitive matches anymore. So moving forward, it's going to be last man standing, street fights, stuff I can do safely and more so up on my feet. It's funny enough, it's a lot easier to get hit with the chair than it is to take a bunch of bumps for me now.
Understood. All right,
So,
guys, we're just about out of time here. Attilio, don't go anywhere when I go off the air. I'm just going to make a few announcements. Number one,
sure, of
this
course.
Saturday, come to Quakertown. If you are in this area, you're in the Lehigh Valley here in Pennsylvania, you are a stone's throw away from Quakertown. Come on down. Tickets are $20 at the gate, at the door. The doors open at 6 o'clock, and 3WA will present Summer Scorcher. I will do a preview show of the event that day, Saturday at noon. So myself and either JT Cage or Top Shelf Tyler Sims we will run down the entire card. And myself will be doing another episode of Turnbuckle Talk with another guest. Right there right around 6:30. So the doors open at 6. Turnbuckle Talks around 6:30, and then the action starts immediately after that. We get to the national anthem and we get right to the event.
Awesome.
So that is Saturday, July the 25th. This coming Saturday at Quakertown at 6 o'clock. Be there. I will see you there. Also, Around the Turnbuckle will be back here next Sunday with a new guest and a new co-host. Please like our videos and share and subscribe to the channel and all that cool stuff.
Seriously, support Around the Turnbuckle. These guys do, well, just Al now, you know.
Well, it's me, but he has an open door. Listen,
Keith,
people have been asking
Al,
me about the Professor Attilio, and I got to tell you this. The Professor will always have my back.
Of course.
It's just financially right now, he cannot be a part of this, and I understand it. But he has a wide open door for any time he's ever come back, because he was a huge part of this show, and we always enjoyed his, intelligence as far as the wrestling business is concerned. And now that he's involved, he's even more so intelligent in the wrestling business. He's very well read, and that's why he's the Professor.
Yeah,
and honestly, but I'm going to keep this going.
Yeah, it's like my main thing was like, you guys provide a tremendous service for independent wrestling. You guys help give voices to guys who may not otherwise have had the opportunity to be heard, whether it be they're not getting a push in their local territory the way that they should, they're not being recognized for one thing or another, and this show helps give independent wrestlers from all levels, whether they're trainees or rookies, they're green, veterans, whoever. It helps give them a voice and lets them be seen and heard and tell their stories, which could help somebody else or help progress them even further, because you never know who's watching or who's got to connect here and there. So Around the Turnbuckle provides a tremendous service for independent wrestling and wrestlers, and you guys should be tremendously proud of that.
I appreciate you saying that, man. Next week, like I said, fans, we'll be back here and we'll talk a lot about SummerSlam. We didn't get to talk too much about SummerSlam now. We talked a little bit about Saturday Night's Main Event and a little bit about AEW and some other things. JT Cage and the Hat Guy will have an open door for whenever they want to come back. My best to JT Cage for his injury, and I hope he recovers from that. And also, if you are interested in being a guest, you're a wrestler and you're interested in being a guest or a referee or a promoter or a ring announcer, or you have something to do with the wrestling business, you are more than welcome to come on here, promote yourself, promote your events, your upcoming appearances and things like that. Whatever you want to promote, I'll be glad to do so. Just get in touch with me ASAP. Those spots fill up rather quickly. But I'll be back next Saturday. This coming Saturday, I'll be in Quakertown for 3WA Summer Scorcher, and I will be back here next week with a new guest and a new co-host, and we're going to talk SummerSlam because it's rapidly approaching. SummerSlam. We're going to talk all about it.
I'm excited about SummerSlam, actually.
We're going to talk all about it next Sunday here on Around the Turnbuckle. For the absent JT Cage and for my good friend Attilio Priel, thank you so much. This is Around the Turnbuckle, and we will see you next week.
You think you know me?
Oh, yeah! If you smile!
I calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.